Good morning, class. For my presentation, I will give an interpretation on the belief that only persons have intrinsic value that we must respect. I will first give the attributes necessary to be considered a person. Then, I will explain why Kant saw that only persons have intrinsic value, which will include the concept of never treating someone as simply a means. Finally, I will discuss if society truly follows Kant's theory on the person. For starters, what qualities must one have in order to be called a person? For starters, they are not simply conscious beings. In the utilitarian view, they must have self-awareness of the surroundings, such as knowing where they are or who is around them, have a sense of rationality, know when to save something of value for the future, and have a form of language, whether with speaking with your tongue or with sign language. For Kant, to be a person, one must act for reason rather than on emotion, which means to act on consideration that will be valid for anyone in a similar circumstance or situation. A person who makes good grades in order to go to grad school is an example of someone acting with reason. Wanting to punch someone in the face because you want to is an example of the emotion. This is not being rational, so you are acting in a non-person fashion. You must follow the universal concept that if one person does not do it, then no one should, such as lying. Someone who shows or feels any kind of guilt also distinguishes someone as being a person. So let's say that you either lie to someone to get out of trouble, or commit a crime such as theft or murder, or simply push someone down a flight of stairs. If you felt any kind of guilty thoughts, then Kant would say that you are being a person. With these qualities being the standard for being a person with intrinsic value, this would conclude that any non-rational beings have no such value or respect from any rational person. But why does Kant believe that only persons with intrinsic value have to be respected? The main reason is because of the concept of treating people as an ends and never simply as a means. To Kant, all people should be treated with the same amount of respect for their own happiness and self-worth. He believes that a person is more valuable than any end that you might attain. So if you want people to respect your views, your desires, and to value as a person, then you must be willing to give that same amount of respect to someone else, for they too are persons with their own values. Another reason is that you, like others, aspire to be something, such as a student, a mother, a worker, businessman, or anything. All persons have this aspiration, so you must place them first and foremost above anything. Everything else, according to Kant, is nothing more but a reflection of value. This includes fetuses, for they have no self-awareness nor rationality. Animals, as they act only on reaction and emotion and not on reason. Plants, rocks, rivers, and other parts of nature, as they only exist to serve persons. Even children are considered not to be considered persons, as they are not aware of their surroundings or rational for a certain amount of their lifespan. Even though Kant demands that we respect all persons' intrinsic value, one must ask if society truly follows this concept. After many discussions in our classroom, I must conclude that not everyone follows this belief. Slave owners treat slaves as nothing more but a means to take care of their plantations and farms. They did not care that slaves were just as rational and self-aware as they were. Women were, and in some places still are, used as a means to comfort and pleasure of men. Even with their own self-awareness, rational thinking, and intelligence, because of past stereotypes, they are seen as the weaker sex. Therefore, neither the slave nor women are considered persons with intrinsic value in parts of society's history, even though they in fact do. In conclusion, I have discussed what qualifies one to be a person. I explained why only persons with intrinsic values must be respected, and I discussed if society fully follows this concept. Thank you for your time. Any questions?